So, in this video, I'm gonna do kind of a unbox this thrift store haul. And contrary to what the bag says, I didn't purchase this at Knookin's. They're just using Knookin's bags. So, I got this stuff maybe 2 weeks ago, so I can't even remember what everything is. So it should be interesting for me and to sort of jog my memory at what I got. So first, I got some Topps baseball picture cards from 1986. It says it contains 48 cards, and this was $4. And Topps, of course, is the premium for baseball cards. And so let's see what I got. Here's the first set. Tony Gwynn. Vance Law. Johnny Ray. Mike Fishland. Rich Thompson. Jesse Barfield. Tim Flannery. Bob Kearney. Chet Lemon. Lynn Jones. Tim Teufel. Mike Pagliaro. Julio Cruz. Mickey Tuttleton. Tony Perez. Bud Black. Glenn Hubbard. And John Franco. And this next round, I got Joe Orsulic, Brian Harper, Frank Euphemia. That was a special card. Exposed Leaders. Tim Raines, Tim Wallach, Andre Dawson. Depicted on the front, Andre Dawson, Dean of the Expos. Another special card, Mets Leaders. Mookie Wilson. Jeff Barkley. Jackie Moore. Mariners Leaders. And Dave Henderson on the card. Astros Leaders. Jose Cruz. Damaso Garcia. Paul Zuvella. John Russell. Carl Best. Dodgers Leaders. Bill Russell. Royals Leaders. Hal McRae. And Andre Dawson. And we got one more set here. Orioles. Earl Weaver. Then Matt Tusick. Brian Fisher, Kurt Capshire, Bob Gritch, Craig Gerber, Larry Anderson, Sid Bream, Rick Shue, Tom Lawless, Jorge Bell, Joe Beckwith, Brian Diet, Storm Davis, Bill Kruger, Willie Randolph, and a checklist. Alright, so there is some good old vintage baseball cards in the 1986 style of Topps baseball cards with a few special ones and the checklist. So the next thing I got in here is this interesting thing. And I have no idea what it is. All I know is it's old. And then it's in German. It says Christ Life Graf. I think this is religious. Something on German women. Does it say? It says World War II German book. And I'm not exactly sure. It looks like someone being tortured. There's nothing on the back. It's a pretty grim picture. Sorry, my German's a little weak. I can make out some stuff. Dr. Matilda Ludendorff, and Walter Loeb. It's very old, so I'm trying to be really careful. This was printed in 1934. Printed in Germany. And it's got that old style of German writing. And I wish I knew what it said, because it's mostly text. I don't know if there's any pictures in it or not. It's just an interesting book here. It's just neat to see this old style writing. Oh, I have no idea what this is about. There's something kind of historical thing. The witches of Fuftitum, and it's in 1591. All I know is it's about witches being burned at the stake. I'm so bad at my German is so bad, and I apologize. So, it's an interesting little pamphlet from 1934 in German, and I'm not sure what it's about, but I think it has to do with witches. And it looks like maybe testing a witch. so weird. Not sure what that's about. Let's see what else I got here. I got this. A 1938 almanac. It's the 1938 Goodrich Almanac for Farm and Home. Let us make goods destined for service. W.A.L. Robinson, Cameron, Texas. And it's got 2 phone numbers. It's got a little thing to hang it, which is handy. Like to hang it on a hook or something. On the back you got your 1938 calendar. Rural or star root box holder, local. And I bet there's going to be some good ads in here. Made of good durable paper because these almanacs were built to last. America's oldest tire manufacturer, Goodrich. So this is the Goodrich Almanac for Farm and Home. The 162nd year of American independence. There's the table of contents. April calendar, arithmetic that pays, astronomical calculations. I mean, this is some straight up farming stuff here. A letter from the president. Here is the astronomical calculations. Here's something about the world in 1870. 68 years ago. What was the world? Let's read about what the world was like 68 years ago in 1870. The war between the states ended only 5 years ago, but its scars are healing quickly. Ulysses S. Grant is president. The 14th and 15th Amendments to the Constitution are being ratified. They are declared in force March 30th. The southern states are again taking their rightful place as members of the Union. Virginia is admitted on January 27th, Mississippi on February 3rd, Texas on March 30th, and Georgia on July 15th. The 9th census of population is still being taken. It shows that there are 38,555,000 people in the United States. New York has 942,000 inhabitants. The Metropolitan Museum of Art got their charter in 1870. Quite a lot. Here's another ad for Goodrich. Look at the old cars in the ad. Sure cures for sick houses. Oh, this is household tips. Preserving leather chairs. Rub with beaten egg, white of egg until the egg froth disappears into the leather. Huh. I've never heard I've never heard a tip like that. How science tames the sun. Trying to fix that dog ear too. It's driving me a little bit crazy. Save enough to buy a new plow. Care of farm machinery. Facts speak louder than claims. Worse than war. Many persons still consider the phrase worse than war a mere figure of speech. Yet the total number of deaths caused by automobile accidents since 1922 exceeds by a wide margin the number of American soldiers killed in action or died of wounds in all the wars in which our countries participated. Now that is crazy. It was only 1938, and there had already been that many automobile fatalities. That's hard to comprehend. So imagine how many there's been now with all the cars we have. Because in 1938, there was still some wagons going down the roads, you know? I mean, it wasn't all... Not everyone had a car. Canning recipes. My grandma used to can. So, and my grandma's passed away now, but there, if your grandma is still alive and if she cans or she makes recipes and stuff, seriously savor that, because when it's gone forever. And the tastes, like she made this vegetable soup that she would can, and oh my goodness, it was so good, and I will never taste it again for the rest of my life. And I'll never have her jelly or jam. I'll never have the biscuits that she made. I will never ever have those tastes for the rest of my life. And yeah, I wish that I had really spent more time. Well, I think I did savor it a lot, but still. Here's a map of the United States. All 48 of the states at this time. That's just really interesting. Hawaii and Alaska were not states yet, and this is a really cool color map here. Eufaula, beautiful little town. Opelika. More ads for BF Goodrich. Historical data of the United States. Arithmetic that pays. A lot of tire ads, obviously. This is brought to you by Tires. How much was this? Or was probably free. It's probably hanging up when you bought it on a hook like that. Or when you picked it up. Car batteries. A little poem about, cartoon about cars there. Oh, here's all the car care stuff from 1938. Wax cleaner, polish and cleaner, luster wax, top dressing, radiator solder, radiator cleaner, polishing cloth. I just washed my car last week, and I have one of those new car smell air fresheners in it, and it still smells so good when I get it. It's at that point when it just smells really good when you get in the car. This is just neat. Some farmer would have bought this or hung it up in the kitchen, in a farmhouse here in the South, Very, very neat. What else did I get? I saw this. Snow record. Edison record. The Glory Song. A product of the Edison laboratories. I'm going to be very careful. This paper is really, really delicate. I'm going to pull out the record and show. Look how thick it is, first of all. You see that? Very, very, very hard material here. This is not like your vinyl record that you might have seen. And look at how the number is scratched into it here. You see that? The Glory Song. And Jesus, Lover of My Soul. This is in very good condition. It feels very sturdy, and it almost feels brand new, like it was just taken out of the package. Very, very rigid. You see the serial number scratched into it? 3719. It says 3719A63. I would say if there's a date on this. Oh, yeah, here we go. This record is from 1918. 103 years old. There you go. That's what an old record looks like. This is not a vinyl. This is a very old record. And I'm going to carefully put it back in. You don't see too many of these anymore. And this record sent me back $4. But I've always wanted to own an old record like this. I have wax cylinders, and I have vinyl, and I have cassettes, but this is my first old-time record. Oh, I got 3 more things in here. Oh, what is this? This is, I got 2 more things I found. This just jumped out at me. A religious booklet. And it's called The Sixth and Ninth Commandments. Nothing on the back. And it's, National Catholic Community Service. And it's from 1941. The Sixth and Ninth Commandments talking about sex. And there's 2 flowers on the front of it. And the 6th commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. So basically, the pamphlet is discouraging adultery. And I think this is probably, you can still find stuff like this today. It has topics like birth control and so forth. So, it's interesting to see one from 1941, though. And I imagine if I just started reading this, there may be some things that, might cause some disagreements among some of my viewers. So, but taken as a piece of history, I find this very fascinating. Because this is something that, well, let me see, 1941... 80 years old, and it's in pretty good shape. And finally, I found this, a copy of Photoplay, and this is the new Photoplay. There's Elvis on the cover. 1 Year of Sorrow, how his loving father remembering Elvis. This is a year after Elvis died. So I'm guessing this is 78. So this is the new Photoplay. Because I showed a Photoplay in another video that had Mad Max on it. Was this the British version or is this an American version? I guess we're going to need to find out, aren't we? This was printed McFadden Group, New York City. So they did try to bring back Photoplay for a hot second. Didn't last. It's got your ads from Mary Kitchen corned beef hash, Hormel tacos, Nestle Egyptian henna by Nestle. The fabulous way to give your hair natural beauty. There's the Buddy Holly story starring Gary Busey. I love Buddy Holly, and Gary Busey did a pretty good job. All-Star Flash board. All-Star Flash. What is this? Olivia de Havilland. She just passed away. Carol Burnett. Steve Allen. Sean Connery just passed away. Bob Dylan. Howell Linden. This is about that Barney Miller time. Kotex, we're gonna, let's see. Cal York, intimate gossip, late breaking news, and revelations. There's stuff about Three's Company, because that's John Ritter and, Winston Cigarettes. There's a 1970s looking guy. Let me get some coffee here. There's Mark Hamill and C-3PO. And it kind of looks like he's wearing the Jedi outfit from Return of the Jedi, which is Sissy Spacek, who was going to be in Star Wars. John Travolta. Dates with a Married Woman. Let's see. And it showed his interest in aviation even then, because you know John Travolta's a pilot, and that's what seems to be like his biggest passion in life is flying planes. Which, when I was in the Air Force, John Travolta really he wrote a children's book about flying, and I picked it up a long time ago, and I wish I still had it. And it was actually a really charming little children's book. There's some ads. Maggie Smith in California Suite. Sally Hansen, Hard as Nails. Cheerful House. You get a free Slinky. Dick Van Patten, Too Good to Be True. I guess we're talking about 8 is Enough. The Mystery Man in Her Life, Christy McNichol. Winkler Stops Winking at Marriage. Henry Winkler, this time he was Fonzie in Happy Days, so he was a big deal. Virginia Slims. Back then, the working woman could enter the field of her choice. This is a kind of a feminist, 1970s feminist cigarette. Or you could say they were exploiting that movement to sell cigarettes. Corned beef. Sally Field, I don't have to marry Burt to love him. It's sad when Burt Reynolds died not that long ago, and Sally Field did some interview where she didn't seem. She said some really negative stuff about him. It's kind of sad. And I think she might have came back and said some nice things about him later, but you know. Harrison Ford, Chase Excitement. This would have been the article I would have been most excited about if I had this in my hand back then. Living in a Big Way. Hervé Villechaize. The French actor who played Tattoo in Fantasy Island. Peter Dinklage played him in a movie. I used to watch Fantasy Island because it was on. I mean, I remember when it came on, and we always thought Tattoo was really cool. Farrah Fawcett. I admire Jeff Bridges. I really have a lot of respect for him. Natalie Wood. It's actors talking about who they admire, like Farrah Fawcett admires Jeff Bridges, Natalie Wood admires Ruth Gordon, Robert Blake admires Humphrey Bogart, Alan McGraw admires Georgia O'Keeffe, George Burns admires Charlie Chaplin, Stallone admires Charlie Chaplin, Christy McNichol, I admire Peter Fonda because he's foxy. LeVar Burton, I admire Sidney Poitier. Susan Blankley, I admire Shirley MacLaine and Jane Fonda. So this was Photoplay's brief reboot. I just learned something new. I was assuming when I picked this up that this was the British version, but this is in fact the American version of Photoplay, the redo, that didn't last long. So that's another interesting thing for my collection. Let's put Kraft marshmallows in some things like a carrot mellow salad. Oh, the Kraft stuff. From Nice Girl to Nymph. Donnie Most. He was Ralph on Happy Days. 1 Year Without Elvis. When Elvis died, I was 3. I believe. I think I was 3 years old. Yeah. That was a big deal. Yeah, it was a really, really, really big deal. Can't even describe the. He wasn't at top of his game at that point. He was doing a lot of Vegas shows, and he looked sick. My mom used to say that he looked really, really sick. She had old Elvis albums from the 50s, and when he was younger, and then on his last shows he looked kind of rough. My I mean, so I don't think it was a huge shock to a lot of people, but I think it was still kind of heartbreaking that someone so young he just wasn't healthy, and that's sad because he was a phenomenally talented and charismatic singer. Hollywood After Dark. What those married lovers are up to in Hollywood After Dark. Oh my. The truth behind the gossip about Donnie's wedding. Didn't know there was gossip about it. James Arness. I think he was in Gunsmoke. The Secret of Staying Alive. That's the Bee Gees. They were really, really popular. Just understatement. It's everywhere. From 19. When I were thinking about 1979, you could not get away from Bee Gees music. It was everywhere. I was in Kansas, and if we went to the roller skating rink, or if we went to the movies, or if we went to the mall, or wherever, man, the Bee Gees was playing. It's on the radio. Now here's more who the celebrities admire. Cheryl Ladd, I admire Jane Fonda. Henry Winkler admires Lily Tomlin. Peter Falk admires Lily Tomlin. He says, I admire Lily Tomlin because she's a little bit on my mind after seeing her in her show appearing nightly in Hollywood. I find her inspiring. I find her original, and I find her touching and funny, and never sentimental and super cheap, always perceptive. I think that Lily's work is very much a reflection of her. Robert Wagner admires Jacques Cousteau. John Voight, I believe that's Angelina Jolie's mom. No, he'd already separated from her. I stand corrected. Angelina Jolie and me are the exact same age, so that she already would have been separated from him. Robert Redford. Dingy white teeth look radiant white. Genuine emerald rings for $7. No way. We'll just skip that scam. We're looking for people to write children's books. A lot of snake oil ads in this one. Get your that looks like something. I don't know if that's a catalog, or I'm not sure what that is. Diet aid tablets. That doesn't sound healthy. Full color posters. Darth Vader, Cheryl Ladd, Saturday Night Fever, Elvis Presley, Sean Cassidy, Andy Gibb, and Parker Stevenson. Get a giant dollhouse. Michael Landon. Draw tiny and you might be an artist. And there's another Fredericks of Hollywood trying to give away some catalog. Or it doesn't look like a catalog. Looks like something else. Like a... Like, I don't know what they call... Oh my, there's some stuff in here that really don't want to read on my videos. Yeah, Photoplay. Goodness gracious. Rumor, how Lyndon has a nude scene in his next film. Alright, rumor, Christopher Reeve starring as Superman. The upcoming film had to be specially padded for the role. Rumor, Sylvester Stallone and his wife Sasha have happily reconciled. Rumor, Lily Tomlin has some of Hollywood's hottest stars just dying to make a film with her. Rumor, Pink Panther star Peter Sellers and director Blake Edwards are through with each other and will never work together again. And that is it. That's my haul. Pretty interesting stuff. A lot of interesting things, and I hope you enjoyed looking through it with me. And so if you like my channel, please subscribe, click the bell icon, and leave me a comment and a thumbs up. Until next time, bye.